Life try to beat me down, but it don't work, see, I'm too strong. Defeat and I ain't friends, cause we don't never get along. I can't stand the status quo, you can't box me in, bro. I take risks, I stand on edge and click no parachute.
Let's go.
Hey good people, this is Arthur Tua. We're on step number 2 on the Ideas to Profit series, right? So this is where we take you literally from your idea straight to profits in 10 steps. And even if you don't have an idea, don't go anywhere, because we can help you create an idea and go straight to profits in 10 steps. And we're gonna be able to do this on this series. But if you hadn't watched the first one, go back and watch the first one, okay? You can't start at step 2. You have to start at step 1. Trust me, it makes sense, okay? So just do that. And before we get too much further into it, if you wanna make sure that you don't miss any of them, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so that you'll be notified, because a lot of you guys are reaching out to me and I know you're serious about making profits off your idea, and I don't want you to miss anything, okay? You ready? All right, let's go. Okay, for step number 1, we talked about what makes you great. What are the skills that you have? What are people have known you for? What have you been paid for in the past, right? I want you to take those and set that to the side just for 1 second. What we're gonna talk about now is what needs are there in your community, right? You know the whole saying, find a need and fill it, right? Don't get this confused with following your passion. We're not on that following your passion thing. Go somewhere else with that. This is about finding needs that already exist, that are not being solved efficiently, that your skills are uniquely qualified to solve. Got it? That's what we mean by saying find a need and fill it. All right? So let's go. In your community, when you go to work, when you go to school, when you come home, there are times when you say, man, it would be so cool if. Or you hear someone complain, man, I hate waiting on, right? I want you to find 20 of those, right? I know right now you probably already thought of 1 or 2. There have been at least 1 or 2 that's popped in your head, man. It is annoying to me when I have to endure X, right? Think of those, write those down. Got it? Because see, this is what we're going to find our opportunities, right? You ready? So, I mean, do you have your pen and paper? I mean, are you doing it or are you just looking at me? Right now, let's do it right now. I'm gonna walk you through it right now. Okay, part 1 is now done. You identified the 20 needs that you saw in the community. Now for part 2, we have to create 3 buckets. Needs, real needs, perceived needs, and fads. What I want you to do is take those 20 ideas, and if you did more because you're an overachiever, I like it, but take those and we want to put those in one of these buckets, one of these 3 buckets. So let me give you an example for a real need. If I'm in the house and I cut myself and it's a severe cut, meaning I need to go to the hospital, the real need is to repair my body. So the hospital don't have to ask me, or have to tell me how much it costs and all that other stuff before I allow them to do surgery, because I am bleeding and I may die. It's a real need, okay? Perceived need. Perceived need is where the customer themselves feel like they need it, even though they actually don't, right? So for instance, it's not a house, it's not health related, it's none of that. It's just something that's really important to them. That's how Apple became so important, right? Laptops weren't needed, but Steve Jobs was able to create or manufacture perceived need. He said our products are for those creators who think differently. And so if you felt like you weren't a part of the larger society because you thought differently, you moved differently, then you felt like you needed the products that would allow you to best be you. And Steve Jobs was able to market to that. Okay, so those would be the perceived needs. All right, now fads. Fads are something that come out the blue. They get really, really, really hot, like so much so that you think I have to jump on this. And then by the time you built a business around it, it fizzles out. So an example of a fad is a fidget spinner.
Oh, she's humming and she's ready to let loose. This is the spin bender shot.
Right, so 5 years ago, if you're a parent, you bought at least 2,000 to 3,000 fidget spinners, right? But last 60 days, have we seen them at all, anywhere? They came in, hit hard, and they disappeared because they didn't really satisfy a need. It was just something in the moment that was interesting, right? So I want you to put all those ideas that you've identified in one of those 3 buckets. Now, when you get done with that, I want you to take all the ones that are in the fad bucket and chuck it, throw it in the trash. All right, now that's it for that. Now for part 3. All right, you guys, now we're on the last step of this, part 3 of this step. Now, you had your list of 20 needs or more than that if you're overachievers, check. Then you went and put them in buckets of real needs, perceived needs, or fads, check. And then you chuck the bucket for the fads, check. The last one. Now, if you do this part, this is what's gonna make sure that your competition can never take your customers. This is what's gonna make them not be able to steal your business, right? Because when you answer these 2 questions, it makes you and your business one. It makes you attractive to your specific audience, okay? Now, what are those? I want you to go through each one of those ideas and answer these questions. 1, do I have a personal story that relates to this idea? Right? So what do I mean? So for Meg Relief, you know, it's pain relief. It's all natural pain relief, right? Now, for me, I was in the military for 11 years, banged up my knees, my lower back, all that other stuff, got out. A few years later, decided to start working out, messed up my knee, did all the pain pills, doctor's appointments, physical therapy, nothing helped. 6 months into that, went to Grenada, put an oil on, bam, I felt relief for 9 months that I hadn't felt in the entire 6 months worth of pain, right? That's my story. Now, when you hear that, it resonates, okay? Now, that's 1. Go through each one of those ideas and say, do I have a personal story or a personal experience that relates to this problem, okay? Now, the second one, can you create a movement behind it? Can you galvanize people to champion a cause based on your idea? So, for instance, with Meg Relief, we're saying that joint pain is not natural. Joint relief is, right? And so we all have mothers, fathers, grandparents, sisters, brothers, cousins, somebody that's walking around who is robbed of life, robbed of the ability to enjoy life on their terms because they hurt. How many fathers can't play basketball with their sons or how many mothers can't play basketball with their sons because their joints hurt, right? And they're tired of taking pain pills. So we're making the joint pain the enemy that we can all get behind and create a movement behind that. Because now it's not about Meg Relief. It's about conquering joint pain. You get that? So can you look at those ideas and create a movement behind it, right? If you can't say yes to both of these, set those ideas to the side and then get it all the way down to the few that you can say, yes, I have a personal story with this, and yes, we can create a movement behind it. And that's it. That's it for this step, okay? Now, let's get to work on those 3 things. These 3 parts form the foundation of everything going forward, okay? I know it seems like a lot, but trust me, it's worth the wait. It is the reason why Sift took off. It's the reason why Meg Relief is taking off. And it's the same things are gonna work for you, all right, you guys? If you have any questions, need any help, shoot me some questions down below, and I look forward to seeing you. And don't forget, like and subscribe so that way you won't miss the next step. I would hate for you to get this part and then miss it, and then next thing you know, you come back and we're on step 9 and you're like, wait, I'm on step 3. Okay, so don't do that. Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to share. Sharing is caring.